Welcome to the Pandemonium Witches podcast, where the ADHD has just a touch of the tism, where the true crime is just as scary as the hauntings and unsolved cases, and the hosts never stay on topic for long. I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Em. And I'm Meg.
We are the Pandemonium. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rachel is mad at me.
Not mad at you. Frustrated, yes. Quit buying shit.
It's for you.
Doesn't matter. You're still swiping that card.
It was on sale in the
Doesn't
clearance
matter.
section.
You're still going swipey. Or tappy tap.
The plastic swipes.
Yes.
So I got a boo box from Michaela. Cute little. It doesn't work. Like the light doesn't work, but it's adorable. And then
That is
Addison,
precious.
Addie picked this out. It was
Oh my God,
so
I love it.
course, it's a gnome. I have to stick it on my thing. And then she got me a bunch of little trinkets and toys. So they're over there because we're decorating this weekend. We're already going to be decorated at the time this comes out. But, oh yeah, sippy.
Have you taken your morning medicines?
I did. It almost went down the wrong pipe, but I did.
Well, it's not supposed to do that, but I'm glad you took your meds.
I'm a woman of many talents.
I would say swallowing's not one of them, but we're not that kind of podcast. Well, I mean,
We're
kind
not.
of, but not entirely.
We're not. I have, honey, where are you? Oh, you're sending me EMT stuff. That's what announcements do we have? Let's take a look, shall we? All right. So for Spotify, we're still sitting at 106 followers at the end of October because this is the last week of October, guys. We only have a few more episodes left after today. It's 2, I think. We have 27 subscribers on our YouTube. And then on our Facebook, our Book of the Face, let's see here. We have 74 whole followers on our page. We're currently following 15 people. One of them is Bailey Syrian. We have 110 members in the Pandemonium group. A lot of people go into the group but don't actually fill out the information, but it's fine. You know, it is what it is. We also have Holly deep diving on a case already for next season. She is currently in the depth of it, has not responded to any text messages, phone calls, videos, Snapchats, nothing. She is.
Are we sure the tunnel hasn't collapsed on her?
I'm pretty sure she posted a reel the other day, so.
Okay, so she's still breathing at least. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's still breathing, but it's one of those things. Once Holly gets started, also, love Walmart for this. Frog and Toad. Josh was like, he gave me this look of when I picked it up, and I was like, it's on sale. It is like $5, and it's in the right size. It's not going to feel.
And it's Frog and Toad.
It's Frog and Toad. Have you set up your hydration station?
I have hot tea and my thermos full of cold deliciousness.
It is tea season. I do need to get some apple cider, so I'll probably stick that on my Amazon list or see if they have it at Dollar Tree, because I think they have it at Dollar Tree.
I would think they would have it on Dollar Tree, but don't quote me on that.
I'm saving that photo because I'm just like, I love you. And yes, I am getting paid for it. I have a problem with clients reaching out from marketing expertise and not getting paid for it. So
exactly. Like, you want my time and energy. You're going to pay me for this shit.
Right. Because I make, business designs and logos, and I'm getting paid for it. And I was like, this is when it's due. And she's like, okay, that's fine. So I've already created a whole list is done, except for like one item, which is a thank you card. I want to fix it, but kind of like where it's going. I think we only have 2 states left on our list. This is the number 2 stop. And as you noticed on the previous episodes, there's a lack of photos, and it's because my Wi-Fi and Riverside both hate me. So I'll get about an hour and a half finished, and I'll call Rachel crying, or I'll call Josh crying, going, "You love me."
Maybe not so much like calling me crying. More so, I'm going to throw this thing through the fucking computer. I'm tired of this shit.
Oh, man, we didn't even make it 7 minutes. It's 5.5. It's fine. So
My bad.
It's all right. Do you want to guess where we're stopping off for our second to last state, or first to last state, rather?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Do you want a hint?
Yes, please.
Okay. So it's a sister state to where my aunt lives. My aunt lives in what state? We talk about her all the time. Where?
Lives in Wisconsin, right?
What's the state next door to Wisconsin?
There's a few.
If you're looking at the map, the state to the left. Come on, Rachel.
I got to pull up a map now. Thanks.
Listen, it is early in the morning for us. We typically we record these pretty early in the morning. So for people going, I don't understand why. I can't sleep most days.
You said to the left?
To the left.
Okay, well, to the left of Wisconsin is not Michigan, because that's to the right. Minnesota.
To the right.
That's why I was like, are you sure you're talking about the right angle? You could have also said to like above, because Michigan
That's true.
It's split in 2.
Michigan are, oh yeah, don't you know, neighbors that are connected to the Canadian Ozarks.
I was going to say, and then directly below it is Illinois. So
we are not discussing Illinois today, nor any other I states. It's going to be Michigan and again and again. That's a great song, Michigan Again. If you haven't heard
aren't you
it.
glad I looked it up, though? Our geology listeners would be like, you're going the wrong way.
I know. So if you guys haven't set up your hydration stations or set up your meds, you should probably do that. Unlike Emily, who has to set up her medication ahead of time, her pharmacy. So, you ready to get into it?
As I ever am.
I love doing the state. I loved it.
I'm so glad.
Some of the stuff I found out, I was like, that's cool. So, the capital is Lansing. The abbreviation, hold on. Darling, love of my life, can you get my ring? Because if we're going to be talking about haunted crap today, I should probably wear it. The nickname is known as the Wolverine State. Population as of 2022 is 10.03 million. The state bird is the American robin. The state flower is the apple blossom, and it was admitted to the Union on January 26, 1837, and it was the 26th state of the Union. Oh, thank you, my love. It has
full on sounded like an old ass man.
He is an old ass man. Let me tell you, we snap, crackle, and pop. We're trying to get ready for bed last night, and I got up to get out of bed, and because I stretch and crack my back before I go to bed, and every movement I made cracked, and I went, I'm broken. And he goes, we both are. And I said, I'm old. And he goes, I'm older. And I was like, I'm literally older than you.
Just bowls of Rice Krispies.
He just said military ages me faster.
I mean, he's not wrong on that.
It's not. And it ages me faster because of my worry lines. But it has the world's largest quarry. And did you know it is on Spooky Lake month? She's discussed 2 quarries already. I'm pretty excited about that. It's home to the largest limestone quarry on Earth, and it has a floating post office. Michigan is home to the only floating post office in the world, and it's called J.W. Westcott II. Motown Records was founded in Detroit, Michigan in 1959, and it produced music by The Temptations, Diana Ross, the Jackson 5, Stevie Wonder, along with many others. The studio is where many music was recorded for the Motown Museum, and it is open to visitors. People who lived in the land, now called Michigan, for at least 12,000 years, and there's lots of fossils in the area. Many centuries after those first inhabitants, native tribes lived on the land, including Kickapoo, Miami, Ojibwe, Potawatomi, Menominee, Fox, Sioux. 11 Native American tribes still live in Michigan today, but those are just the main ones. French explorers reached the area around 1618. Good old colonizers. France controlled the land until the mid-1700s when England defeated the country in the French and Indian War, which lasted between 1754 and 1763. Many Native Americans did fight with France against England.
Well, yeah, because the French were like, listen, if you fight with us, we're going to keep things the exact same. We're not going to overpopularize. We're just going to have fur trappers come in and out, do little outposts, like we'll leave you alone. Y'all leave us alone. Everything will keep going as it's been going. So I don't blame them for fighting on the side of the French. And that was very tart, wasn't it?
So bad. I'm also really grateful you're not coming to visit anytime soon because peanut M&Ms.
I'm fine. I just can't eat it myself. I've told you this. I can be around peanut dust.
I don't care. We are going to be a no-nut house when you come to.
So I guess Josh isn't going to be there then?
I have no idea where he went. That was hilarious. In 1805,
I know.
In 1805, Michigan finally became a U.S. territory. I don't know what is going on with my lighting. Settlers began pouring in around 18. Do you see the lighting? What is going on? Hold on.
Is somebody trying to communicate with you by Morse code?
Is that better?
I mean, it stopped strobe lighting, so I mean.
All right, so that's what it was. The settlers began pouring in around 1825 once the newly built Erie Canal made traveling across the country much easier because the Erie Canal was man-made. Michigan joined the Union as a free state in 1837, and just before 1900, automakers Ransom E. Olds, you know the name, from the Oldsmobile, and Henry Ford built some of the first cars in Detroit, Michigan. The city is called Motor City because so many cars have been made there. Experts aren't sure, but Michigan might have been named after Lake Michigan, which got its name from the Native American word that roughly translates to big lake.
Because we're real original with names.
Let's not talk about my friend Michael Michelson. His mother's a few crayons short of a frickin' box. Michigan is known for fishing. I've been to Michigan. I've gone fishing with my father. It is fun. By fishing with my father, I meant he was fishing. I was reading a book the whole time.
Of course. But I mean, it makes sense because between the Great Lakes and then all the rivers that come through as well, makes sense.
I hate Michaela a little bit right now because I love candy. I don't normally like candy. But peanut M&Ms are great. and they're like my kryptonite. Peanut butter M&Ms are my kryptonite. 90% of the Upper Peninsula is covered in trees. So Michigan is also known for its forests. A lot of movies that have played out, horror movies where they're based in forests, are filmed in the Pacific Northwest or in Michigan. The state also produces iron oxide pigments, which are used for making red, orange, yellow, and black pigment, which is often used in makeup. You want to know some famous folks from there? Serena Williams and her sister, Charles Lindbergh, Diana Ross, David Spade, which I didn't see, Madonna, Burt Reynolds, Captain of the Porn Stash, Vern Troyer, Selma Blair, Stevie Wonder, Eminem, my favorite on this entire list, aside, Robin Williams, Dita Von Teese, Anita Baker, Henry Ford, Iggy Pop, Kristen Bell, and our favorite team, Taylor Lautner. Are you getting a hot flash?
I drank too much of the hot tea, but also look at this fan that somebody left at work that I got after 90 days. Isn't it like so Holly or Halloween-esque?
I mean, it's Holly-esque too. I mean, that's beside. I have another bowl full of candy. No more peanut M&Ms for me today. That's pretty. I love that.
But this was the other one.
I love that. So you guys didn't come here for the history. You came for the haunted crap. You ready? I have, hold on, 2 pages full of links. I have 21 pages, 19 pages, no more, of actual places. So it's going to be about an hour and a half today. So nothing too terrible. First stop is called the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel, which is located in Grand Rapids. It was featured on Ghost Hunters with Taps, as well as other ghostly shows. It was opened originally in 1913 as the Pant, not Plant, Pentland Hotel. The Beaux Arts building was crafted by Warren and Wetmore, the same architects who built New York's Grand Central Station and the Biltmore Hotel. It stood out for its gold leaf ceiling, classical columns, and terracotta accents. By 1925, the Pentland ranked among the top 10 hotels in all of America. After decades of decline, the Amway Corporation purchased and restored it in 1981. For those of you who don't know, Amway is one of those pyramid scheme peoples. Anyways, so it reopened and renamed as Amway Grand Plaza Hotel. A dramatic 29-story glass tower was added in 1983, symbolizing the revitalization of downtown Grand Rapids. It later joined the Historic Hotels of America in 2012 and became part of Hilton's Curio Collection in 2016. It is very hard to get added to the Hilton Collection if it wasn't already part of the Hilton Collection. A multi-million-dollar renovation refreshed the tower between 2019 and 2021, including modern floor-to-ceiling windows. The hotel has hosted royalty like Queen Juliana of the Netherlands, as well as, but not limited to, are you ready for this list? Because my flabbers were casted. Margaret Thatcher, Queen Noor of Jordan, General Schwarzkopf, James Earl Jones, Cher, Joe Montana, Faye Dunaway, and Jerry Seinfeld, just to name a few. So there was a tragic elevator accident, and the most chilling legend involves Mary Monco. She was a young staff member reportedly decapitated by an elevator in 1914. So people have seen this in TV shows and movies about a woman with no head slowly crawling towards them. Sightings of her spirit often...
Can't she be walking? Why crawling?
That's the story. Okay, so most sightings of her spirit, often headless, are said to linger on the 10th floor, where guests report hearing giggles and screams that echo down the hall. You need a minute?
I can't get past the fact that she is crawling towards you, not walking like anybody else who is headless. Nah, crawling. And I'm assuming like dragging her body across the floor, crawling. No thanks. First of all, that's how you get me screaming and running away, but also that's how you get, freaking shit thrown at you.
That's one of the legends. The other one is that she's walking, but the main one that people refer to is the one where she's physically dragging her body from the elevator to down the hall. There's also activity in room 336 as well as 337. These rooms have a reputation for paranormal disruption, hot faucets, flickering lights, and the slamming of doors. This is Rachel's favorite. One guest even described waking to find a shadowy figure hovering over their bed just above their face.
That's my favorite thing. No, that's Emily's thing.
No. Just like touching is me and Meg's favorite. We hate it. We hate it. It's our absolute hated thing. We don't like to be touched by ghosties. We don't like it.
What's hilarious is that I used to do that exact thing to Mom when I was a child. I would just stand over her and stare at her until she woke up. I don't know why. I just did.
And that's how we know we're best friends, because we're both creepy as fuck. There's also of haunted elevators and ballrooms, because guests speak of the elevators acting on their own, sometimes stopping on the long forbidden and not allowed to use 29th floor. Featuring old-style wallpaper and decor, the Pentland Ballroom has reported sightings of Victorian dancers, while in other places on the property, spectral figures have been seen smoking, waltzing, or pulling blankets off of beds.
Okay, I do have a question, though. Smoking as in, like, smoking? Okay, because my brain went, smoking or body is smoking? Like, on fire kind of smoking.
I mean, if it was the mask, probably, because...
So I just wanted to be on the same page with that.
I do have to tell you, every time Michaela watches us, she looks in the background to see if anything is new. And so I put up a few new signs that she got me, and some pictures and stuff like that. There's new things every episode, but
your witch hat still looks like it has like two eyes just staring. I know it's flowers, but it looks like two eyes from my side. It makes me giggle each time.
Not my cousin. We have a friend named Marissa. She is fantastic. She's a homesteader and she does crocheting and stuff like that. Also, completely off topic, the Amazon list that I have of like Halloween rom-coms, it's like 75 movies, and they're all from like the Hallmark Channel or ABC, or there's some feel-goody movies, but they're kind of fun. Anyways, as far as other ghostly things that happen at this particular hotel, furniture and objects move on their own, like ashtrays disappearing or furniture actually picking up and moving. Reports of cold spots, electrical disturbances, feelings of being watched or touched, and shadow figures haunting various corridors.
Again, if you're not helping pay for the electric bill, stop fucking with the electricity.
If you ain't paying it, get the fuck out. A structural elevator near rooms 336 and 337 played haunting recordings for hotel visitors, despite having no occupants inside the lift.
Continue.
The Amway Grand has even launched a Ghosts of the Grand paranormal tour package and a special haunted tour room package offering guests guided access to the most haunted spots in the hotel, cocktails, and ghost story entertainment during Halloween season. You too can stay at the Amway Grand Hotel. We're not going to, but you can. Next is a whole town. One of, I think it's Sydney's favorite movies, Jeepers Creepers, was filmed here, known as Branch County.
Oh my God.
I know you love it too, but I know for a fact Sydney is obsessed with this movie because she watches it at the beginning of Halloween every year. So, Branch County is haunted. The first Jeepers Creepers movie in 2001 filmed many of its rural highway and countryside scenes around Coldwater, Union City, and other parts of Branch County. The lonely, desolate stretches of roads that the Creepers truck terrorizes, that was filmed on real backwoods roads in this area of Michigan known as Branch County. So,
But I love that because that just pumped so much money into that community.
they were able to redo some of the roads from what I read.
I love that.
Because these roads are old. So there's a old movie from the 80s, 70s, I want to say, where it's called The Lottery. And it's this small town. I watched it, I think it was like 16, 17 when I was going to Catholic school. And everybody puts the names in the jar of who they want to, quote unquote, sacrifice every year. You sit for a certain length of time and you start to get cramps in your legs. Anyways, this was the same area where it was filmed, out in the middle of nowhere. So, Oak Grove Cemetery is one of the haunted areas in Branch County. Located in Coldwater, it was established in 1854. It was originally laid out as the main burial ground for Coldwater, and it was created during the Garden Cemetery movement, which I know you know about, which is the Victorian gardens, very beautiful windy paths, large trees, ornate monuments. So, some of the notable people who have been buried here are Maud Ferris Luce, 1887 to 2002, the oldest person living in the world, who died at 115 years old. Scott Brayton, Indy car driver who died in a crash in 1996. Many Civil War veterans, which adds to its historical charm and character. And because of its long history and Victorian design, the cemetery carries a heavy atmosphere presence, along with its note of being one of the most haunted cemeteries in all of Michigan. Is commonly reported some certain reported supernatural phenomena. The vine-covered mausoleum is at the far end of a circular pit within the cemetery, and visitors report often seeing a misty human-like form gathered around it, especially at night, kind of like a wake, as it were. There are often feelings of nausea and unease by many who enter the cemetery at night. They feel dizziness, nausea, or oppression, or even depression, and they feel as though they're being watched.
I mean,
Multiple
that makes sense though.
Right. Well, multiple eyewitnesses have described misty white shapes that look like people standing next to or in front of headstones, only to vanish once they are seen and approached. Walkers at night sometimes feel chilling temperature drops, hear footsteps, or soft whispers in their ear.
Okay, but so we see the ghosts. Why are we approaching them? Leave them alone!
Well, of course, there's a local legend. Some believe the restless spirits may be tied to unmarked graves or disturbed burials, while others point to Civil War soldiers whose energy lingers in the cemetery. And then, of course, there's a bed and breakfast called the Victorian Villa Bed and Breakfast. Also located in Union City, it was built in the 1870s by a wealthy Union City family, sometimes cited as the Merrill family or the Bishop family, depending on who you're getting it from, because word of mouth. It is a striking Second Empire Victorian mansion. You should look it up. Or on here. I'll send you the, no, not what I wanted to do. Sending it to you. Just the name. So you can copy and paste it. It's got a mansard roof, ornate trim, and a grand staircase, not just one, but two, and it was considered one of the finest homes in all of Union City. It changed hands several times, of course, as most old houses do, and by the 80s it was converted into a beam. It was filled with period antiques and open to guests who wanted an immersive Victorian experience. And when I say immersive, I mean it's beautiful. The villa became known as a historic landmark and was one of Union City's gems for heritage tourism. You looking it up? So, as far as the paranormal,
I had to put in city and state because it kept giving me other Victoria Villa bed and breakfast, and I was like, I need it to be specific.
So there's one that's in Oregon that I stayed in. Can confirm it is haunted. It is haunted AF. And it's,
I mean, I would assume any Victorian style building to be haunted.
well, so this one's right next to the water, the one that I used to stay at when I went to go visit my ex-bestie. Well, I mean, she's still my bestie. I've known her since I was like 4, but not as close as we once were. And they used the hotel that we stayed at as a makeshift hospital when there were storms and such. It was the biggest thing in the area at the time. So this particular inn, earned a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Michigan again. Stories have circulated from guests, staff, and paranormal investigators, especially a stern woman in Victorian regalia. She is seen very stern looking, severe, angry face, in old-fashioned clothing. She's usually glimpsed in mirrors, stairways, or in the corners of rooms, out of the corner of your eye. Some feel her presence as an oppressive or judgmental energy, as though she is watching over the house and its guests. Some say that she is the landlady, and she's the one that takes care of all the rooms. I understand that. There's also cold spots and activity in the parlor. Unexplained sounds are the most often experienced, and objects, especially the antiques, sometimes seem to move slightly or shift positions completely overnight.
I will say, because I'm scrolling through their website right now, it's got photos and everything. I love the fact, like, the interior, they've kept it as antique as possible with obviously some modern fixtures like electricity. One of the bathrooms has just a walk-in shower, but the rest of it is all clawfoot bathtubs, very vintage furniture, all of
Did
it.
you see the sinks with the mirrors?
Yes.
And it looks. So, of course, we got to get notes from our overnight visitors. They've often reported footsteps in the halls when no one was there, and soft whispers near their beds or in their ears. These sounds can sometimes come from unused parts of the buildings, like through the vents or whatever like that, of course. Some guests have smelled lavender or rose-scented perfume, often associated with the lady of the house, even when no scents are present and it's a brand new, clean room. Many visitors describe waking up with the sense that someone was standing by their bed, but they were alone. The energy in the house feels different from room to room, sometimes welcoming and sometimes very oppressive and rude, was one of the comments.
I mean, it happens.
If I had to stay at the same place that I was watching over and guarding, I too would be rude and oppressive. So the Victorian villa.
Quit fucking shit up in my house, bitches.
Stop changing my wallpaper. The Victorian Villa for years was one of Michigan's best known haunted inns and operated as a B&B and antique showcase, but in more recent years it has been closed to the public and privately owned. Still, locals and ghost enthusiasts continue to share stories of its lingering spirits. So as of now, you can't stay at it, but they may reopen it, they may not, but it's... And of course, we have one more stop in this county where they filmed Jeepers Creepers, known in the film and also in word of mouth, Haunted Railroad Bridge.
Of course, it's a railroad and a bridge.
In Lenawee County, just off of Branch County, it's literally right next door. Near Adrian is a piece of Michigan folklore that mixes history with ghost legend. The story dates back to the late 1800s in a
Rural.
farming area south of Adrian near Bailey Highway, where the railroad crosses farmland. According to local lore, a tragic sequence of events tied a family's fate to the bridge and to the railroad tracks. A barn fire broke out in a nearby farm, and the farmer tried desperately to save his horses, but died in the flames. So his wife, carrying their child, ran towards the track to flag down a train for help. In the chaos, she either tripped or fell on the tracks and was instantly unalived. Some versions say she was struck by the train, others said she collapsed and burned. The child also died, and with the farmer gone too, the tragedy left behind some lingering sorrow that you feel on the bridge. Over the decades, the bridge has earned a reputation as a local ghost spot. So some say if you stand near the tracks after dark, which I won't, you can hear women's screams echoing through the night as if she's still trying to stop the train. Witnesses also claim to see a woman carrying a child walking along the railroad tracks, only for her to vanish when you get close.
That's so sad.
I know, but it gets even worse.
hate it.
So some have reported seeing the figure of the man, known as the farmer, wandering near the bridge, thought to be him, who died in the fire, searching for his wife and his child. I told you it got worse. You never believe me. Anyways, visitors often describe a heavy, sorrowful energy, cold spots, and an eerie silence broken only by phantom sounds, guys. That's called nature. Are you okay? Are you crying?
Just keep going.
So, of course, the Haunted Railroad Bridge is one of those classic legendary trip spots that teenagers go to, to test their courage. And while details differ depending on the storyteller, the core themes of fire, train, and tragic family death stay pretty consistent. It's often mentioned in Michigan ghost story collections, or there is a tram that does take people around, one of those little bus things, on paranormal forums as well, though it doesn't have the tourist spotlight of bigger haunts like Mackinac Island and the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel, which we will talk about Mackinac Island because I want to go there because there's no cars. There are Clydesdale horses and everything is by horse, buggy, or bike. And you can take little motorized bikes, but there's no gas or cars or anything.
It's on my list of places to go.
We can do the road trip and go there.
Sounds good to me.
Woohoo! We have to take Sylvia, though.
Obviously.
She'd be so mad if we went without her.
We would never hear the end of it.
You went without me? How dare you?
I mean, I do know it's on her list of places to go to, so perfect.
It's on mine too, because they filmed parts of Practical Magic there. So there's also the Detroit Masonic Temple, which is located in Detroit. My dad's a Mason. That's where I confused the two on an earlier podcast we did. This temple was built between 1920 and 26 by the Detroit Masons at the height of their influence, and it served as both a social and a ritual space. So that's fun. It was designed by George D. Mason, a prominent Detroit architect. It's a massive neo-Gothic skyscraper-style building with 137 rooms. Just to give you sort of feel on how huge it is. It has its own theater.
Like, I know it's also part of the angle that photo is at, but still, that's fucking massive.
It's not the angle. I'll get into it. It's huge. This is taken from the back of the room. And this is taken from the stage. It's massive. So,
very massive.
It has multiple theaters, not just one, not just two, multiple. ballrooms, chapels, hidden passageways that go from room to room, and even a swimming pool. Over the years, the Masonic membership shrank and the temple fell into financial hardship. And in 2013, Jack Stripe of the White Stripes paid off the $142,000 debt in back taxes. You turned off your...
I had to do a really big sneeze.
That's fine.
Nobody needed to see that.
That's good. I mean, I've done that before. So he paid the back taxes to help preserve it. Today, it's used as a concert and events venue, but it carries its reputation for mystery and hauntings. So the temple is obviously steeped in shit. There is a legend of George D. Mason hanging around. He poured his fortune into the temple and he bankrupted himself. His wife allegedly left him, and in despair, he leapt to his unaliving from the temple's roof. Visitors and staff claim to see a shadowy figure climbing the rooftop or wandering the halls, many believe to be George himself. Note, many historians do debate this. Some say he just died in 1948 at home, not at the temple, but the ghost legend still persists. Since there's 1,000 rooms, over 1,000 rooms, many are hidden or locked, and the temple feels like a labyrinth. It's kind of like a H.H. Holmes. Paranormal investigators report hearing footsteps, voices, and slamming doors in unused or locked sections.
Quit slam the damn door.
You don't pay my electricity. You don't pay the damn heat.
Also, if you're gonna slam it, you better be paying for whatever damages that happen with the slamming of the doors.
I know, seriously. In the basement, guests describe dramatic temperature drops as well as the sound of chains being dragged or whispers. Theaters and ballrooms have echoes of phantom applause or faint music, and reports include lights flickering, doors opening and closing on their own, and even shadows darting across the walls when no one is nearby. It feels haunted due to the size of the entire temple and its connection to the secretive rituals of the Masons feels speculative, but it still feels mysterious. As far as the ghost of George Mason, whether or not he committed suicide, is still a legend. It's not factual, but still persists. And there are ghosts of him that are seen in the hotel, which, as you remember, echoes do happen. They are linked to people who feel like they didn't finish everything out.
Also, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did still haunt the space because he sunk so much of his time and energy and all of his money into it. So of course he's like, I want to still be around to see what this building is doing. So I don't blame him.
Neither. But this one is going to be, I think, your favorite stop. Maybe Sylvia's too. Known as the Doherty Hotel. I'll tell you why. Because this was my favorite stop. You ready?
I'm skeptical, but sure.
Located in Clare, Michigan. Opened in 1924 by the Doherty family in downtown Clare, it quickly became a hub for mobsters, gamblers, bootleggers, and other women of the night, with secret card rooms and bootlegging activity during the 1920s and 30s, because we do not hate shoes in this household. The Doherty Hotel in Clare, Michigan became notorious during Prohibition as a haven for organized crime figures, particularly members of Detroit's infamous Purple Gang. This gang was predominantly Jewish American criminal group, dominated bootlegging, gambling, and other illicit activities in Detroit during the 20s.
I was going to say, we do hate shoes in this house, but we don't hate people wearing or doing specific jobs in this house.
Exactly.
We hate shoes because they pinch the toes and they're uncomfortable, but I gotta throw that in.
I too hate shoes in our house, but it's mainly because I vacuum. This is going to sound disgusting. I vacuum once a month. Main reason is because we mainly wear socks at home. If you guys know of any socks that don't have the seam across the toe, please let me know. It drives me freaking bonkers. Rachel knows I will have a literal fight with myself. Why is there a seam on my toe?
But also, Josh brings in so much dirt on his shoes, so constantly having to clean.
Yes. So of course, the Purple Gang, Jewish American criminal group. I was like, tell me more. I'm so intrigued. So the Hotels Association with the Purple Gang and its role in the criminal activities of the era contributed to its reputation as Michigan's most haunted location. You noticing a pattern in all of these? Guests and staff have reported paranormal experience, including sightings of shadowy figures, unexplained noises, which some attribute to the spirits with the past of the hotel. Others attribute to pipes knocking in the walls. I had to think of the word. In 1938, the hotel's most famous crime actually occurred. This was when Isaiah Leboeuf, the wealthy oil tycoon and attorney, was shot and unalived in the hotel bar by his cousin and business partner, Jack Livingston. You know that name. You know that name. The murder was allegedly tied to mob connections, oil money disputes, and organized crime. The event cemented Doherty's reputation as a hotbed of intrigue and violence. The hotel stayed in the Doherty family and is still operating today as a historic hotel and restaurant. You too can stay at the Doherty Hotel. Its gangster era past left behind more than just stories. It's left behind lots of hauntings. Guests and staff reported seeing a shadowy figure in the bar area, believed to be Isaiah Leboeuf, the oil tycoon. Some hear footsteps and whispers when the bar is empty. People claim to feel an uneasy presence in the basement, and that's where the old gambling rooms were and where the mobsters used to meet to handle some of their business transactions. Shadowy figures have been spotted lingering in corners, especially after dark in the basement. Guests staying overnight, however, describe feeling cold spots, feelings of dread, and the sensation of being watched or touched. Objects reportedly move on their own in the bar and dining areas, and staffs have found glasses and chairs out of place by the morning. Certain guest rooms, on the other hand, have been rumored to have more activity than most, with visitors waking up to phantom voices or someone touching them only to find that no one is in the room with them at all.
No touch it!
No touch it! Stop sign! I did that in the car the other day. I was like, stop sign. I have no idea why. I just did. Oh, because someone ran a stop sign. The Doherty Hotel today is still fully operational as a historic restaurant and hotel, as well as bar. They lean into the mobster ghost story mentality, and they have tours and events highlighting both the Prohibition era crimes as well as the hauntings. And it's a popular stop for paranormal investigators and Michigan ghost hunters. And it has been featured on Ghost Hunters. Did you know that there's also a town in Michigan called Holland?
That I did know.
What is it famous for?
They're tulips.
They're tulips.
And also being Little Holland.
Yes.
Did he just joke something inappropriately?
He did. Known as the Felt Mansion, which is located in Holland. I put note. Yes, there is a Holland, Michigan. Said note. There are tulips and Holland-based festivals in Holland, Michigan. Sub note. Yes, I want to go there.
Same. Girl I knew from church youth group. She has family up there, and so she used to be constantly, when I was still on her Facebook, she used to post all the time of photos of all the tulips and all the little Holland things. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I really want to go there. I still do. I just don't interact with her because I don't go to church anymore.
I don't either. I'm afraid I'll burst into flames. So the Felt Mansion was built in 1928 by Frederick C. Felt, a wealthy industrialist who made his fortune in the Felt and Tarrant typewriter business. I have one. It's old. It's so old, and they don't make the ribbons anymore. I can't find them anywhere, but it's fine. It smells like my grandma's. So, designed in the Tudor revival style, featuring intricate woodwork, stone walls, grand fireplaces, and ornate ceilings. It has those medallions you like.
Oh, the fucking brickwork, though. Oh my god. And the different, like, the roof with the different colored. Oh my god. You're muted. And obviously, the fire escape on the side of it it had to be up to code. I would love to see it in the snow.
They have weddings all year round. So I sent Rachel a bunch of photos. One of them is from a bunch of weddings, or from one wedding, but the estate originally included gardens, a carriage house, and expansive grounds. Frederick Felt and his family lived there until financial difficulties forced the mansion to change hands. Today, the Felt Mansion is part of the Herrick District Library System. Let me say that again. It is part of the District Library System and is used for events, tours, and special programs, preserving its historic charm.
I absolutely love that.
Hold on. This is just some of the libraries that they offer. You heard me correctly. Libraries. More than one. Okay. So,
just between the wood and the older books, oh my god, I can smell it through the photos. And the leather seats. Here, the leather chairs. Oh my god.
Are those old Victorian ones?
I need to go just to sit in the chairs and just breathe it in. Like, if I could find a candle or like waxy scents that is just that smell, all my money gone.
That
I swear to God.
I have that smell. I can get it for you.
Yes, please.
My mom has it, so I'll find out where she got it from. I think it's Yankee Candle, but you burn it, and it smells like used books and leather. It's great. So the Felt Mansion is used as one of It is used, but it's known as one of Michigan's most haunted mansions, and numerous reports from visitors, staff, and paranormal investigators have said that they have seen a man in a suit believed to be Frederick Felt walking the halls, particularly in the library, near the grand staircase. So there's one downstairs, there's one upstairs. Figures report seeing shadowy figures move through the rooms, especially in the main living areas and the upper floors. Certain hallways and rooms are said to have sudden drops in temperature, with the feeling of being watched. Staff and visitors have also heard footsteps, whispers, doors creaking, and even laughter in empty parts of the museum and mansion. Excuse me, not museum, just mansion. The mansion has been explored by paranormal groups. They have reported strange EMF readings, unexplained sounds, and orbs of light, reinforcing the haunted reputation. So there are quite a few rooms in the mansion itself, and with its long history of wealth and bankruptcy, it's got a big history of hauntings. So there were times where it was abandoned and unused. It gave spirits a quiet time to manifest. It's not how it works. But anyways, many believe the Felt family or the staff who lived and worked there left residual energy in the mansion. I do believe that there's echoing there. Next, we have our least favorite thing to cover, forts. Squirrel. So Fort Wayne, located in Detroit, was built in 1842 to 1851 by the United States Army. It's located at the junction of Detroit and Rouge Rivers in the southwest corner of Detroit. Constructed as a military fortification to defend against potential attacks along the Great Lakes and maintain control of the region during periods of tension with Native American and European powers, it served as a recruitment and training center, but also housed Confederate prisoners. Continued as an active military post into the 20th century, today it operates as Fort Wayne Historical Park, hosting reenactments, educational programs, and tours. It is considered one of Detroit's most haunted historical sites, with many reports of ghostly activities. Visitors report seeing soldiers in 19th century uniforms walking the grounds, particularly near the old barracks. And some have claimed to hear drumming, marching, and military commands, despite there being no reenactments occurring at the time.
I mean, yeah, because loops happen and all that energy that got put in, both good and bad energy got put into the ground because the ground remembers.
On quiet nights, there are reports of drum rolls, gunfire sounds, and echoing footsteps across the fort's parade grounds. Apparitions of officers and possibly their families have been sighted in the old quarters, which are still there. Strange cold spots, doors opening and closing, and whispers are also common. Its long history of soldiers dying in training accidents, Civil War service, and occasional violence may contribute to its lingering activity, because you have to remember, Confederates. So today, Fort Wayne is open to the public as a museum and park. You too can take a guided tour to highlight the historical significance and haunted lore of Fort Wayne. So there's also seasonal events, especially around Halloween and throughout the month of October. You can go on ghost tours and see paranormal storytelling. This one I think you're going to fall in love with. Copy image. This one I have a snowy image of, because Rachel loves herself some Victorian architecture. I mean, I do too, but she's
Add snow to it, it's just chef's kiss for me.
well, this particular one you will see from some of the photos before it was reconstructed. One of the houses from Rose Red. So I like that movie, but it's located in Kalamazoo. It's a historic Queen Anne style mansion built in 1895 by Frank Henderson, who was a prominent businessman and owner of Henderson Ames Company. It constructed at the cost of $72,000, featured 25 rooms, including a third floor ballroom, 7 bathrooms, and a very first elevator. The exterior is made of Lake Superior sandstone and brick, while the interior has woodwork and mahogany, bird's eye maple, quartered oak, birch, and American sycamore.
The exposed beams in the ceiling, all the original woodwork.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
You are welcome. Of course. Over the years, Henderson Castle has gained a reputation as one of Michigan's most haunted locations. Reports of paranormal activity include unexplained sounds, sightings, apparitions, and objects moving on their own. The castle has been featured in horror films and attracts numerous ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. The most haunted areas is Mary Henderson's room, also known as the Dutch Room. Guests have reported eerie sensations and unexplained occurrences. As well, the Miracle Room is another area of the castle known for its mysterious happenings. There have been multiple noises, doors opening and closing, and even locking on its own. The Henderson Castle operates as a bed and breakfast, and you too can stay here. It hosts various events, including haunted history dinners, murder mystery nights, and it's open to the public, offering tours and accommodations.
I want to go just to see the house, but not for the haunted aspect.
¿Por qué a las dos?
Because I don't want to get locked into rooms if they're shutting and locking doors on me.
I mean, fair. Next, we have the Landmark Inn, located in Marquette Also, if I'm mispronouncing anything, my Michiganites, please let me know. The Landmark Inn was constructed starting in 1917 and opened its doors January 2nd of 1930. It was originally named the Hotel Northland. Not a bad name. Oh, forgot about this name. It's going to make me sad. Designed by Samuel Shackford Otis. I know, from Chicago Fire. The hotel features 6 stories and was once the tallest building in all of Marquette. After a period of decline, the hotel was purchased in 1995 by Christine and Bruce Pessola for $103,000. They undertook a complete renovation and restoration, reopening the hotel in 1997 under the current name, the Landmark Inn. So, of course, there's hauntings. The Lilac Lady is the most famous ghost associated with the Landmark Inn, of that a librarian who fell in love with a sailor. After his death in a shipwreck, she reportedly unalived herself in room 502, which is now known as the Lilac Room. Guests have reported seeing her apparition in the room, described as wearing a floral gown and sometimes standing near the window or the bed. Amelia Earhart stayed in room 502 in 1932. Some guests have claimed to experience some phenomena attributing to Earhart's lingering spirit. Throughout the hotel, particularly on the 6th floor, guests have reported hearing unexplained footsteps, voices, and experiencing sudden temperature drops. It operates as a full-service hotel with 66 rooms, many named after notable guests. The hotel offers a glimpse into the past and the Victorian era, and it's advisable to contact the inn directly for any information on ghost tours or specific events related to its history, as it does offer them. Next we have, where we want to go, Mackinac Island.
There we go. But yes, that's exactly where we want to go. But also, at least the Lilac Lady chose a different color than the void of all color. So, like, glad for that. We love a good lilac, though. It's a nice, pretty purple.
It's a beautiful color. So, Mackinac Island is located on Lake Huron. Lake Huron is beautiful, but the whole island is haunted. It has layers of Native American history, the British and the American military presence that was there, epidemics, and the 1800s resort culture. So almost every corner of the island has some sort of ghost history story like to it. So it's between the upper and lower peninsula. It was originally inhabited by I'm going to say the other name. I don't know. I'm going to put the word here for the people, the Ottawa people. Odawa. It became a strategic site for fur trading in the 17th century, and the French established Fort Michilimackinac nearby. The land was fortified with Fort Mackinac in 1780, and it played a role in the War of 1812, changing hands between British and then Americans. By the late 19th century, the Mackinac Island became a popular resort destination due to its natural beauty, Victorian architecture, and historical significance. Mackinac Island is famous for its ban on motorized vehicles. It's been in place since 1898, and here's why. Officials wanted to maintain the 19th century charm and historic atmosphere. Early in the automobile era, streets were narrow and unpaved, making cars a complete hazard for pedestrians, horses, and carriages. The ban helps protect the island's natural environment, including forests, shoreline, and historical structures. It also has a bee alcove, which I want to go to because it has natural, like, a bee environment. And I'm like, oh my God. With cars not allowed, the main modes of transport are horses, bicycles, walking, and electric service vehicles. They're the small exceptions for like grocery deliveries and emergency use like fire trucks and ambulances.
The cops are just charging around on horses.
They're on horses and bicycles. So
all I can imagine is you get arrested and you just get thrown on the back of the horse, or they just tie a rope to you and just lead you back to the.
I mean, that's what they
That's
do
some
in the Wild
old style
West.
shit.
I mean, shoot, like I'd be fine with that. Toss me on the back of a horse, shoot. So of course, the paranormal history has skyrocketed. Stories. So the Biddle House on Mackinac Island is a historic site that offers a glimpse into the earliest 19th century life of island residents, particularly the Ottawa community. The exact date of construction is completely unknown, but the building's first documented in 1797 and may date as early as the 1780s. It's a French-Canadian piece-to-piece construction, which I had to look up. It's grooved upright posts and horizontal board infill, like how it was built. The house was purchased by Edward Biddle and from Robert Dickinson in 1831. And it's possible the Biddle family rented the house as early as 1822. The Biddles later added an east portion to the house and covered the exterior with clapboards, which is like the seaside. Edward and Agatha Biddle were fur traders. So Ed married Agatha, who was a member of the Ottawa Nation, and together they operated a fur trading post in the region. The Biddle House served as their home and business, and it was extensively restored in 1959 and is now part of the Mackinac State Island Park. It serves as a museum interpreting the life of the Biddles and the broader Ottawa community during the 1830s. While Mackinac Island is known for its history and haunted locations, the specific hauntings associated with Biddle House has a reputation of being. I deleted a whole plot. Essentially, people cooking and talking and doors opening and closing. You can get a ticket to see all of these historic sites when you enter Mackinac Island for the day. I don't think there are any houses for sale on Mackinac Island, but I kind of want to look into it for research purposes.
Same though.
So typically it's open during the tourist season and it's advisable to check current hours before visiting. To get to Mackinac Island, you have to take a ferry. And you have to park, of course, on the other side. Fort Holmes is the highest point on Mackinac Island, offering panoramic views of Lake Huron and the Straits of Mackinac. It was built by the British in 1814 during the War of 1812, and it served as a secondary fort to Fort Mackinac. The fort was abandoned after the British ceded in the War of 1812, and over the years it fell into ruin, but by 1930 it was reconstructed from stone walls, earthen ramparts, and cannons for historical interpretation. Today, it is part of the Mackinac State Historic Park System, and you can explore the site, climb the ramparts, and enjoy the scenic views. Some of the hauntings that happen at the fort are unexplained footsteps near the ramparts at night, cold spots and eerie sensations, especially in fog or sunset conditions, and occasional sightings of shadowy figures thought to be soldiers from the War of 1812. Its long history of military presence combined with its isolated location and dramatic views contributes to the mysterious and slightly haunting atmosphere. And it can be a ticket when you purchase the thing. And it's accessible by hike or bike ride. You can walk, but it's very steep because it's located on the top of Mackinac Island. Mackinac Island's down here.
But if it's super steep, how are you supposed to ride a bike up that grade? Like, riding it down is like no problem as long as there's like you're riding the brakes the whole way. But trying to go uphill on a bicycle is really
use
hard.
Your thighs and your glutes and your calves, honey. You use that.
I feel like walking would make it easier though. Like,
Not
even
always,
with the
but yeah.
grade.
So, of course, we also got Mackinac, Fort Mackinac, built in 1780. After the War of 1812, it was taken over by the United States and expanded with additional barracks, ramparts, and defensive works. Key site during the War of 1812, including the famous Battle of Mackinac Island, which was in 1814. It was later used for training, military admission, and a headquarters for controlling regional trade. Now part of the Mackinac State Historical Park Society, it houses a museum detailing military history, the War of 1812, and all life on the island. It's considered one of Michigan's, again, all of these are most haunted locations. People see ghostly soldiers in 19th century uniforms patrolling the grounds, shadows, movements, cold spots, especially near the ramparts and the barracks, just like the other fort. Echoes of gunfire, marching, and commands have been reported, along with shrieks and screaming.
No, thank you.
Officers' quarters and their families have been sighted with their officers and their families. Strange noises, footsteps, and unexplained lights happen in the barracks. Some report objects moving on their own, doors opening, closing, and locking, along with faint whispers and touches. You too can stay here at night on a night tour where there's paranormal investigations that have confirmed unusual activity. No, thank you.
That's right up Emily's alley, so we'll let her take that.
We'll go with
not
some bed
us.
and breakfast down the street that is not haunted.
Sounds good to me.
Me too. So the Grand Hotel is located overlooking Lake Huron, and it was built in 1887 by Detroit businessman John W. Leggett. He was wanting to attract wealthy tourists to the island, and at its opening, it featured grand architecture and modern amenities such as electric lights and elevators. Because this was like super rare at the time, just to let you know what it looks like. Hold on. You've seen this hotel before on a couple of different TV shows. Oops, not what I wanted to do. That is mahogany. Just to give you the sheer size of Mackinac Island, it's freaking huge.
Holy shit.
Uh-huh. So just to show you sheer size of everything, these are recent photos too. Okay. Now you see why I'm like, I needed to do this place justice. I was like, it's only going to be an hour and a half. Nope. It's taken a lot longer, and I'm sorry, folks, but get in or get out. The famous for having the longest porch in the world at 660 feet. This grand hotel, get it? Get what I did there? Includes 397 rooms, a formal dining room, an informal dining room, bell rooms, and beautiful gardens. It maintains a Victorian era aesthetic, contributing to the island's historic charm, hosts celebrities, dignitaries, and U.S. presidents over the decades, and featured in films, literature, adding to its historic, iconic status. Such films as Somewhere in Time, 1980, Time for Keeps, 1947. Additionally, the Grand Hotel has been recognized as the top 25 historic hotels in America in film and TV history. It has also been seen on Haunted Hotels Michigan, Mysteries at the Museum on the Travel Channel, America's Most Haunted on Discovery, as well as several news outlets, newspapers, and ghost hunters. The Grand Hotel is renowned for ghost stories and paranormal activity. Guests have reported seeing women, not woman, women in Victorian period dresses wandering the hall or sitting on the grand porch, which does have rocking chairs, which do move on their own, but that's because of wind, guys, because it's outside. Certain rooms are said to experience cold spots, flickering lights, and moving objects. Some visitors claim to see shadowy figures dancing in the ballroom after hours, remnants of grand parties that it used to have, as well as it has now. Staff occasionally hear footsteps, whispers, doors opening and closing without explanation, particularly in older sections of the hotel. While the hauntings are more subtle than other locations on Mackinac Island, Many ghost tours include the hotel because of its long history and preserved Victorian atmosphere. The hotel is open for day visits as well as overnight stays. The porch and gardens offer scenic views of the Straits of Mackinac, and guided tours provide insight to the history, architecture, and stories of hauntings. You don't want to stay there, Rachel?
Not overnight. No, thank you.
I will be right back.
Anyways, what I'm currently trying to do is find photos, because the photo that Kat sent me of the hotel was looking really familiar, and I'm like, I have seen this before. So I'm trying to figure it out because my aunt and her husband travel in their RV a lot. So I'm trying to find it because I know that. Ha! There it is! Haha! Um, he took photos of the nope, wrong button. Of the
Oh, yeah.
So, as I was telling our listeners, when you sent the photo of the outside of the hotel, I knew I'd seen it before. My aunt and her husband, the ones that travel in their RV, they went there.
Stop!
Yeah, so he got, because he's an amateur photographer, because they're both retired, so he took a lot of photos of it. So I will send that over to you because he put it as public, so I can send it and you should still see it.
Yay!
Just sent.
Ask him if he's okay with me using his photos.
I don't talk to him, so.
All right, well, I'm going to use his photos and just put him in the credit. These are, yeah, all the rocking chairs. I want to go there so I can knit on the patio. It's just, the carpet is a little busy for my taste, but I love the architecture in this place. So
he also, like, some of his photos, he, like, heavy edits, so take it as you will.
So next we have the Mission Point Resort, which too is overlooking Lake Huron. It was originally part of a Christian mission and summer camp in the early 20th century, and it was developed as, those are different places that he's gone to. That's cool.
No, that's all just the Mackinac Island.
Because it says, okay. So, yeah, Christian mission and summer camp in the early 20th century. It was developed into a resort in the 1960s to accommodate tourists visiting Mackinac Island. It combines modern resort amenities with historic lakeside setting charm. Along with the large hotel complex, it offers conference facilities, lakeside dining, and outdoor recreational activities. It serves as a major conference and event location on the island and hosts seasonal tourism, weddings, and local events. As far as the paranormal stuff, it also has unexplained phenomena. Some paranormal reports trace back to when the land was used as a Christian mission and summer camp, suggesting lingering spirits of former residents, campers, and counselors. Guests have reported seeing strange noises, such as oh my God. I was tired when I was doing this, okay? Such as doors opening and closing, footsteps in empty hallways, and cold spots. Some claim to see shadowy figures near the older parts of the property. Reports are concentrated in the older wings of the resort and where the area's original mission buildings used to stand. Staff occasionally mentioned unexplained movement of objects and lights flickering on and off. So it's open to overnight guests and day visitors with amenities including dining, spa, and recreational facilities. There's a lot of things to do, including boating, biking, hiking, and lakeside views. Last on this list is one of my least favorite on Mackinac Island because of nuns. Mission Church was built in 1830, is located near the historic Mission Point area. It's open to public tours, worship services, and often included in historical tours. Known as the oldest church in the entire Upper Peninsula, it offers historical artifacts, architecture, and connection to early island settlers.
I'm already hating this.
Built in 1889, making it the oldest surviving church in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It was originally constructed by Protestant missionaries to serve the Ottawa people and settlers on the island.
To serve the Ottoman people.
So it has a simple wood frame design reflecting early 19th century frontier church architecture. It's got original wooden pews and pulpits and preserved to reflect the historic period. It played a central role in the missionary work of the Mackinac Island to spread Christianity to the region. While Mission Church,
There it is.
While Mission Church is primarily historic, there are a few reported paranormal legends. Some reports seeing shadowy figures sitting in the pews or standing near the pulpit thought to be early parishioners or missionaries. Unexplained drops of temperature, faint whispering has been reported, especially during quiet evenings. Many believe the church retains a strong spiritual presence because it's continued to use as a sacred site. There are other Victorian homes in the area that do have strange feelings, whispers, or shadowy figures and things that move on its own, but not as much as the other places that I have already mentioned. You too can get a house on Mackinac Island. Would you like me to tell you how much?
Probably a couple million.
Mackinac Straits reality group, that too. These are beautiful houses. I'm just going to click one. $1,895,000 with 7 beds and 5 baths at 5,393 square feet. You too can buy a home on Mackinac Island. I'm good.
And have like 3 roommates.
We have 3 additional roommates.
But they don't contribute to the bills.
They don't. But his mom's been turning the TV on more often, which scares the crap out of me. I was talking to Rachel on the phone and I was working on a client's form, and all of a sudden the TV turned on and I was like, do you mind? And it just turned off. And I was like, thanks.
She also, that was the first time I actually heard her turn the music on. I guess you were like right next to it and it just started playing music and you're like, seriously? And it just very quickly turned off. And I was just like, what was that? She's like, his mother turned on the music. And I was like, that's the first time I've heard her actually do that. So
yeah, and
there's that.
The thing is when I turn on my phone to do Spotify, it automatically connects to the one in here or connects to the kitchen. It doesn't connect to any other device except the bedroom. The one in the bedroom only plays thunderstorm sounds. I can't play anything else on that one. Otherwise it'll mess stuff up. But the other day I was talking to her on the phone and just started blasting rock. And I was like, really? Not even like rock that I would listen to, like Bon Jovi. No. Rock that husband listens to, like hair metal from the 90s. He is not hair metal. With what hair?
Part of the hair metal.
Okay. Anyways, Michigan Theater, which is located in downtown Detroit, Michigan, no longer on Mackinac Island. We're off the island. We're no longer Survivor. It's originally located on Woodward Avenue. It was built in 1926 as a movie palace during the golden age of cinema. Designed in the Spanish Revival and Mediterranean Revival styles. You should look this up because this is right up your alley. The Michigan Theater is featuring ornate plasterwork, chandeliers, and hand-painted murals. Initially had a seating capacity for over 4,000, included a grand lobby, balcony, and a stage for live performances. I know, you're welcome. Served as major entertainment hub in Detroit during the 20s and 50s. part of Detroit's rich theater district alongside the iconic theaters such as the Fox and the Fox Theater, two different theaters. Closed in the 70s as a suburban movie theater and television drew audiences away. The building has since been repurposed or demolished in some cases. Some interior elements were preserved by Historical Society. So, employees and urban explorers have reported hearing strange footsteps, voices, and apparitions in the backstage areas of the former projection rooms as well. Some claim to see shadowy figures in the balconies or hear old film reels clicking and running despite no equipment being in operation or electrical being put to that room. Rachel hates it, but she loves the architecture. That's why I chose it. Paranormal investigators suggest the theater retains the energy of past performers and patrons, especially from its vaudeville and silent film eras. The theater is considered creepy and completely haunted by locals and won't go near by locals, especially at night when the building is completely empty. Next, we have the Pere Cheney Cemetery. 2 words, Pere Cheney, located off of M93 near Pere Cheney in Crawford County. It's a now abandoned town in northern Michigan near Grayling. It was founded in the late 1800s as a logging town. The cemetery served as the final resting place for town residents, including families, workers, and children. By the early 20th century, the town was largely abandoned after the logging industry collapsed. The cemetery remains as one of the few remnants of the once thriving community. The cemetery is widely considered as haunted and is a popular spot for paranormal enthusiasts, as most cemeteries are. Visitors report seeing orbs or glowing lights moving among the gravestones at night. This is too far north for fireflies, guys. Some believe that these spirits are of the original residents, and shadowy figures are sometimes reported wandering the grounds to disappear once approached. Some claim to hear unexplained whispers, footsteps, or voices. It does have a big creepy feel to it, as it is overgrown and isolated, which adds to the eerie feeling. Many paranormal investigators consider it a classic quote-unquote haunted cemetery experience. Like if you go to the Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond, Virginia, that's where Marilyn Monroe and a lot of presidents are buried. That place is super haunted, but it doesn't feel haunted until it's dark. Once it gets dark, it is the freaks come mad at night. Dude, no. So it's publicly accessible, but please exercise a word of caution. The grounds are overgrown and unmaintained. There are holes and drops.
And that's how you get got.
That. So visit during the day. If you're not familiar with the area, bring a flashlight, be respectful of graves, do not walk on them. You wouldn't like it if people walked all over you. Night visits are common.
I mean, but because it's unkept, like if you unintentionally walk on them, it's accidental. We don't mean any harm. If you purposely do it,
that's how you get got.
That's entirely different.
So night visits are completely common for paranormal investigation, but they do carry risks. As I said, drops and holes. Next, we have the River Raisin National Battlefield Park. And yes, I said raisin. Located in Monroe, Michigan, along River Raisin off of Dixie Highway, this park was the site of the Battle of Frenchtown, which is January 18th, 1813 to January 23rd, 1813, which was during the War of 1812. The battle was one of the bloodiest of the Northern Territory, resulting in significant American casualties. Many soldiers were killed outright or later died of POWs, leading to the site being called the River Raisin Massacre. Designated as a National Battlefield Park to preserve the site and honor those who fought and died, it includes monuments, markers, and a visitor center detailed the Battle of 1812 and its history. Rachel, due to the massive loss of life during the battle, the site is considered haunted by the spirits of the soldiers who have passed. Visitors report seeing ghostly soldiers in uniform along the riverbanks and in the fields. You're frozen.
You froze. I don't know what's going on. Is it me? Am I the problem?
Do you want me to keep going? Because your face is frozen on my end.
Okay, so
Take two.
where did I get kicked off at?
So, the River Raisin National Battlefield Park. Okay,
Yes.
we were talking about ghostly soldiers in uniform on the riverbanks and in the fields. And I was like, your face is frozen. Do you want me to continue? Do you want me to wait? Like, what's going on?
And I meanwhile, on my end, I had just kind of went on this little tirade about the ground remembers because it's soaked with their blood. The water remembers because it's soaked with their blood. And then all of a sudden, you froze. And then next thing I know, I just went, no internet. And I was like, what the fuck?
So, people often say, like, if you guys remember from the Pennsylvania episode where I rolled my eyes at my mother very loudly, she didn't see it, but Gettysburg is very, very haunted. The ground remembers, the water remembers, the stone remembers, the trees remember. Anything of any substantial importance, earth of that kind, remembers. So one of this thing, it says some apparitions are described as marching or crouching in the snow, reenacting moments of the battle. Those are echoes. People have heard gunfire, shouting, marching orders when the park is quiet, no one's there. They experience cold spots or feelings of being watched. Nighttime visitors, because you can go for nighttime. You can't stay there, but you can go to go on night walks when they have the ghost things. They report shadowy shapes moving through the trees. Paranormal investigators have noted orbs of light and photographs taken at the park. There are guided tours of the battlefield and historical reenactments, as well as educational programs, walking trails along the river, and battlefield markers. But here are some tips to visit during the day. Go for the historical tours, and go visit at dusk if you're interested in some of the paranormal explorations. Please respect the memorials and the historical markers. This is an active memorial site. There have also been rumors of people still buried there, but it was also over 100 years ago. So now 200. We only have a few things left. I've removed 2 or 3 points just to kind of keep us maybe under 2 hours. Sail Chua Point Lighthouse. If I said that right, I hope so. It's located by Sail Point Road near Glen Arbor on the southern shore of Lake Michigan in the Upper Peninsula. Built in 1892, 1895 to help guide ships navigating the dangerous swells of Lake Michigan. It's French for only choice because it was one of the very few safe harbor options along the stretch of lake. It stands 85 feet tall with a third order of Fresnel lens, originally used for navigation. It includes keeper's quarters, fog signal building, and the original lighthouse equipment. Played a vital role in shipping and trading along Lake Michigan in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Became automated in 1972, but the lighthouse and grounds are preserved as a historic site. So the lighthouse is considered one of Michigan's most haunted lighthouses. It has more than one. Visitors report seeing shadowy figures believed to be the former lighthouse keeper. Some claim to hear footsteps and doors opening where no one is present. Ghost voices and whispering have been reported in the keeper's quarters. I can speak today. Some guests claim to hear faint foghorns or chains moving, even when the equipment is stationary and inactive. The remote location and harsh weather contribute to an eerie and haunting feeling, especially at night, which definitely adds to the creepy factor, as many paranormal enthusiasts and photographers report orbs of light and photos on the lighthouse grounds.
No thanks.
No.
Having gone to many haunted lighthouses before, no thank you.
because I can't even do it with this hand anymore. We were Girl Scouts. I can do it with my left hand, no problem, but my right hand, I've broken my pinky so many times, it doesn't bend right.
And that's on nerve damage.
The trauma. So you are granted access to the grounds when you visit Grounds Museum, as it's open to the public during the summer season. You can climb the lighthouse tower, but when you go on the guided tours, here's some tips. Go at sunset or dusk. The atmospheric views. Hint, it's great for proposals. Bring a camera for potential paranormal photography.
You might not be the only people in the proposal photos.
Just saying. Next, we have Traverse City State Hospital, located near Grand Traverse Commons. It is originally named Northern Michigan Asylum for the Insane. Opened in 1885 to serve the growing population of Northern Michigan. It was built in the Kirkbride plan style, common 19th century design, like we discussed on a couple of the other asylums. Long wings for ventilation and sunlight, lots of windows. Provided psychiatric care to patients with mental illnesses at the time, when treatment options were super limited to those of the public. At its peak, it housed over 1,500 patients. It closed in 1989 due to mental health care, and funding cuts. The site has been partially redeveloped for commercial use.
Is it into apartments?
And residential as well as recreational.
It's apartments, isn't it?
But many of the buildings remain abandoned.
Always fucking apartments.
Or daycare centers.
Or daycare centers, that's true.
So it's one of Michigan's most haunted locations due to its history as a psychiatric facility. Visitors report seeing doctors disappear out of nowhere, shadow figures of patients, and staff roaming abandoned hallways. Some claim to witness figures in hospital gowns. Commonly reported sounds include screams, whispered footsteps, and banging doors. Some visitors experience disembodied voices calling their names. The abandoned wings contain peeling paint and long corridors, which contribute to fearful, oppressive atmosphere. The paranormal investigators who have investigated this place, TAPS, have reported cold spots, EMF spikes, and unexplained shadows. Due to the patient mistreatment, which I didn't go into any of the history at all. I didn't want to do that on this episode. I want to do that for a different episode. Unalivings and sewer slides contributed along with experimental treatments and lobotomies. Surprise! Urban legends claim some areas are hotspots for ghost activities, particularly the basements and surgical areas. Some parts of the campus are privately redeveloped, but certain areas remain unaccessible and abandoned to urban explorers, though often illegal to enter without permission. They still do it anyways. Guided tours may be available for historic and paranormal interest in group settings. Night visits are popular with paranormal enthusiasts, but carry safety risks as some areas are still considered dangerous to traverse. Because it's in Traverse City. I'm so funny. I'm so funny. So next we have the Whitney Restaurant, which is located in Detroit. It was built in 1894 as the private mansion of David Whitney Jr., which was a wealthy lumber baron. Designed in the Gilded Age style with Romanesque and French Renaissance influences. At the time, it was one of Detroit's most opulent homes, featuring ornate woodwork, stained glass, and grand staircases. You know, I love myself some stained glass and some big staircases. The library. Go look at the library of the Whitney Restaurant. Just go. Go look. So anyways, converted into a fine dining restaurant in the 1980s, it preserved much of the mansion's historic architecture, offers upscale dining, private event spaces, and tours of the mansion. The Whitney restaurant is considered one of Detroit's most haunted locations. Patrons and staff report sightings of a tall, well-dressed man believed to be David Whitney himself wandering the halls. Sometimes guests can see people in the ballroom near the grand staircase. What you think? I know. I picked all the good architectural ones for this episode, by the way. If you hadn't noticed, there's a fucking theme.
Dead people and good architecture.
They go hand in hand most days. Guests have reported doors opening and closing by themselves, objects moving, and footsteps on empty floors. Some claim to hear whispers or laughter, even music late into the night. And the mansion's historic elegance, combined with its age, contributes to a creepy yet majestic atmosphere and ambience. Paranormal investigators often cite cold spots, shadows, and unexplained noises. Some stories of the hauntings suggest the mansion is cursed or holds restless spirits from the Whitney family or the staff who once lived there. You too can eat here, as it is open to the public for dining, private events, and guided mansion tours. Evening visits are popular for those seeking a ghastly experience, and photography is allowed, and some guests attempt to capture paranormal phenomena. And that is everything I have on Michigan. We have quite a few Michiganites. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, our good friend Leslie, from way back when I was on TikTok land, lives in Michigan. Let me just double check. Yes. They know of Kalamazoo. I know that. And then Lucky, my friend Lucinda, she used to live in Michigan. I have quite a few friends that live out there. One of my cousins lived out there for a little while. But I've gone to Michigan several times because of my aunt. It is absolutely stunning. I've only gone to the big cities, but still. I want to go back there just to go visit some of these places. Did I do an okay job?
Yes, definitely.
I chose some really good places, right? 10 out of 10 spookies?
And about 9.5 spookies.
I'll take it. I'll take it. We only have 3 episodes left for October. I have been instructed I need to watch Has Been a Hotel, along with a few other things. I just watched the first Transformers movie last night. I loved it. I don't really like Shia LaBeouf or Megan Fox, but I liked the movie. It was quite nice. Her face doesn't look quite as pinched as it does now.
That's because she was also younger. So,
Yeah,
of
that
course,
too.
I think as for Has Been Hotel, there's a lot of singing. So just be prepared for that. I think I watched like an episode, like the first episode with boyfriend. And because I was like, oh, it's supposed to be really good. And he's just like, it's not my thing. He doesn't really do musicals. So it's fair.
I mean, I grew up on musicals. We were talking yesterday about Rodgers and Hammerstein. My favorite one is the one with Brandy and Whoopi Goldberg, because it's just so funny with Jason. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his last name.
I'm asking Josh because I don't even remember. Jason Alexander. That's it. And I love me some Bernadette Peters. I love her. But this was back when Whoopi Goldberg was still around. Or not Whoopi Goldberg.
The good old 1997.
Whitney Houston. Good old 1997. All the sequins you can afford. But yeah. I had fun researching this. And Mackinac Island has moved to the top of places in the United States I want to go visit, because I've already gone to Forks. I went to all the shooting locations for Twilight and the Goonies. I've gone to where they filmed The Birds and Psycho, and the film locations in California for some of Marilyn Monroe's films. But I'm still working on my list, guys. I got quite a few, so if you want to add more to the list, I'll watch it. But as Emily always says,
Do the stupidest of shit.
Please don't.
please don't. That's what Emily's for. Stay feral.
Bite the hand.
We'll see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye. That's all for this episode. Stay feral, and we'll see you party possums next time.